A man who spends his life chasing the approval of women will always find himself lost. The more he seeks validation, the more it slips from his grasp. Women are drawn to strength, not desperation. They respect confidence, not neediness. A man who places a woman at the center of his world will one day find himself alone, wondering where he went wrong. Women test men, not out of cruelty, but instinct. They seek reassurance that the man they choose is solid, unshaken, and unwavering in his purpose. A weak man crumbles under pressure, bends to every demand, and loses himself in the process. A strong man stands firm, understanding that respect is not given, but earned. No woman will complete a man who has not completed himself. To look to another for fulfillment is to build a house upon sand, fragile and uncertain. A man must first build his own foundation, his purpose, his discipline, his self-respect. Only then can he welcome another into his life without losing himself. Women do not lead, they follow. Not in submission, but in trust. A man who lacks direction will find no one willing to walk beside him. A leader does not seek approval. He moves forward with clarity, knowing that strength lies in certainty, not hesitation. And in the end, all things fade. Love, companionship, passion, all are fleeting. A man who depends on them for meaning will suffer when they disappear. But the man who roots himself in purpose, who accepts the impermanence of all things, remains steady. He does not chase, he does not beg, he simply is, and in that stillness he commands respect. A man who has mastered himself does not fear loss, nor does he cling to what is beyond his control. He understands that attachment is the root of suffering, that desperation repels, and that true power lies in detachment. A woman's affection is like the wind, ever-changing, unpredictable. The weak man seeks to grasp it, to hold on to it, fearing the moment it slips through his fingers. But the strong man does not chase the wind. He stands firm, unshaken, knowing that if it returns, it does so by its own will. Time wasted on those who do not value it is time stolen from one's own growth. A man who allows himself to be pulled in every direction by fleeting emotions and external validation will never build anything of worth. A man who focuses on himself, on discipline, wisdom, and purpose, commands a presence that does not need to beg for attention. Women may come and women may go, but the man who walks his path with unwavering resolve will never be truly alone. He does not demand loyalty, nor does he fear abandonment, for he is rooted in something deeper than momentary affection. He is rooted in himself. A man who understands his worth does not beg for love, nor does he fear its absence. He walks with quiet confidence, knowing that his value is not determined by the presence or approval of another. Those who recognize his strength will stay. Those who do not were never meant to. The weak man seeks comfort in external validation, in promises, in fleeting moments of affection. He is ruled by uncertainty, his emotions dictated by the whims of others. But the strong man remains unmoved. He does not react, he observes. He does not chase, he attracts. Patience is his ally, and detachment is his weapon. He does not rush to prove himself, nor does he waste energy on those who do not see his worth. He understands that true power is found in restraint, in self-discipline, in knowing when to walk away. When a woman senses that a man does not need her, that he is whole within himself, she is drawn to him in ways she cannot explain. Not because he plays games, but because he radiates something rare, self-mastery. And whether she stays or leaves, it makes no difference. He remains as he is, strong, unwavering, complete. A man who has mastered himself does not seek permission to be who he is. He does not shrink to fit expectations, nor does he compromise his principles to gain favor. His presence commands respect, not because he demands it, but because he embodies it. The weak man clings to relationships, fearing solitude as if it were a curse. He tolerates disrespect, ignores warning signs, and bends his own boundaries just to avoid being alone. But the strong man welcomes solitude. He knows that in silence there is clarity, in distance there is perspective, and in solitude there is strength. A woman may admire a man for his kindness, but she respects him for his strength. And where there is no respect, there is no attraction, only tolerance. The moment a man becomes too eager to please, too available, too dependent, the shift is inevitable. Interest fades, admiration turns to indifference, and soon he is left questioning what went wrong. But nothing went wrong. The truth was always there, unspoken yet clear. A man who knows his value does not fear losing someone who does not appreciate it. He does not beg, he does not chase, he does not wait. He simply continues on his path, knowing that the right people will recognize his worth without needing to be convinced. A man who understands himself does not waste time trying to change the unchangeable. He does not plead for love, nor does he attempt to convince someone of his worth. He knows that attraction, respect, and loyalty cannot be forced. They must be given freely or not at all. The weak man refuses to accept this truth. He ignores the signs, justifies mistreatment, and holds on to illusions of what could be rather than accepting what is. He becomes trapped in cycles of hope and disappointment, waiting for validation that will never come. But the strong man sees reality for what it is. He does not entertain false hope, nor does he seek closure where none exists. When faced with disrespect or indifference, he does not argue. He simply walks away. Not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. His time is too valuable to waste on those who do not appreciate it. His energy is too precious to spend on those who drain it. His purpose is too important to be distracted by people who do not see his worth. And so he moves forward, unshaken, undeterred, unstoppable. A man who values himself does not linger where he is not wanted. He does not beg for attention, nor does he tolerate half-hearted affection. He recognizes that the moment he has to convince someone of his worth, he is already lost. The weak man waits, hoping, pleading, sacrificing his dignity in exchange for breadcrumbs of affection. He rationalizes mixed signals, ignores cold behavior, and clings to the possibility that things will change. But things do not change. People show their truth through actions, not words. The strong man observes and acts accordingly. He does not need dramatic exits or bitter goodbyes. When he senses indifference, he simply withdraws. He does not punish or seek revenge. He just removes himself from where he is not valued. His silence is his answer. His absence is his statement. And in time, those who overlooked him will feel the weight of what they lost. But by then, he will be too far ahead to look back. A man who knows his worth understands that not everyone will recognize it, and that is perfectly fine. He does not demand appreciation, nor does he lower himself to be accepted. He moves with certainty, knowing that those who see his value will stay, and those who do not were never meant to. The weak man clings to what is fading, believing that persistence will win love and respect. He fears letting go, mistaking attachment for loyalty. But true loyalty begins with oneself. A man who respects himself will never remain where he is not valued. The strong man is unafraid of walking away. He does not waste energy on proving his worth. He embodies it. He does not chase love. He attracts it. And most importantly, he does not lose himself trying to hold on to someone who does not truly want him. His presence is his power. His ability to walk away is his greatest test of strength. And when he does, the world takes notice. Not because he seeks attention, but because self-respect is undeniable. A man who walks away from what no longer serves him does not do so in anger, but in clarity. He does not slam doors or burn bridges in an attempt to make a statement. He simply removes himself, knowing that his time and energy are too valuable to be wasted on those who do not appreciate them. The weak man seeks closure, desperate for explanations that will never satisfy him. He waits for apologies, for validation, for the moment when they finally realize his worth. But the strong man does not wait. He understands that closure is a gift one gives to himself. The moment he decides to move forward, the past loses its grip on him. He does not carry resentment. He does not dwell on what could have been. He focuses only on what is, his path, his purpose, his growth. The loss of others is not his concern. His own evolution is. And so he walks, not to prove a point, not to make them miss him, but because his journey is far greater than anything he leaves behind. And as he moves forward, he becomes something unshakable, something undeniable, a man who cannot be ignored because he does not need to be seen. A man who has mastered detachment does not fear loss. He embraces it. He understands that people will come and go, that emotions will rise and fall, and that nothing in life is permanent. This knowledge does not make him cold, it makes him free. The weak man resists this truth. He clings to relationships, possessions, and fleeting moments, believing they define his worth. He chases after those who have already chosen to leave, mistaking desperation for devotion. But the strong man does the opposite. He lets go. Not because he does not care, but because he refuses to hold on to anything that is not meant for him. He is not bitter. He is not resentful. He simply refuses to be trapped by attachment. His focus is on his purpose, his growth, his inner peace. And because of this, he becomes magnetic. People are drawn to him, not because he needs them, but because he doesn't. A man like this is rare. He does not beg, he does not chase, he does not fear solitude. He stands firm in who he is, knowing that those who truly belong in his life will stay by choice, not by force. A man who understands the value of his own time does not waste it on empty pursuits or meaningless conversations. He is deliberate with his actions, mindful of where he directs his energy. The world is filled with distractions, but a man who is focused on his purpose does not allow these distractions to steal his attention. The weak man is constantly chasing fleeting pleasures, seeking validation from others, trying to impress, filling his life with noise and activity, all in an attempt to avoid facing the discomfort of stillness. He believes that by being busy, he is being productive. But in reality, he is simply filling the void with distractions, avoiding the difficult work of growth and self-improvement. The strong man, on the other hand, knows that true progress comes from quiet focus. He does not seek approval, he seeks purpose. He understands that the most valuable asset he has is time, and he uses it wisely. Whether it's honing his skills, deepening his knowledge, or working toward his goals, every moment is spent with intention. When a man is focused on his purpose, those around him take notice. They see his discipline, his consistency, his drive, and they are drawn to him. Not because he seeks attention, but because he radiates a quiet confidence that comes from knowing exactly who he is and what he is working toward. And when others try to pull him away from his path, he simply remains steady. He does not engage in meaningless chatter or waste time on drama. He keeps moving forward, knowing that his time is too valuable to be squandered on anything that does not serve his greater purpose. A man who has truly learned the art of self-mastery knows that his journey is an ongoing process. He does not become complacent, nor does he settle for mediocrity. Every day is an opportunity for growth, for refinement, and for deeper understanding. His purpose is not a destination. It is a way of life, a commitment to constantly evolve into the best version of himself. The weak man is constantly looking for shortcuts, for external validation, for easy answers. He seeks comfort in the temporary, in the approval of others, and in the distractions that keep him from confronting the deeper work that is required for true change. He spends his energy chasing things that will never bring him lasting fulfillment. But the strong man has learned that real power lies in the struggle. He knows that growth often comes with discomfort. The challenges are the very things that shape him into the man he wants to become. He embraces hard work, persistence, and patience, understanding that nothing worth having comes easily. A man like this does not need external circumstances to define him. His strength comes from within. It is not based on the approval of others, but on the quiet knowledge that he is living in alignment with his values, his purpose, and his truth. He understands that he cannot control the world, but he can control how he responds to it. And so, with each passing day, he continues on his journey. He faces setbacks with resilience, meets challenges with courage, and grows stronger through every trial. His path is not always easy, but it is his own, and in that there is power. He does not seek to impress, to prove, or to chase. He simply lives with purpose, discipline, and unwavering self-respect. In the end, he is not defined by what he has or by the people around him. He is defined by the strength he has cultivated within himself. And that strength is something no one can take away.